is fucking annoying, by the way.
And then I think I do that. Excellent connection.
Better have an excellent connection with the money you pay for your internet.
Fucking hell, man.
I might just have a mediocre connection. Also, I like this. Is this
Shit, we're live.
Oh, we're streaming. Okay, there we are.
Yep. Does this scene look familiar to you?
My bad. My bad.
We're good at this.
We've streamed tons of times before.
Nobody look at us.
Don't look at us right now. We will get our shit together, I
Apparently
swear.
I saved a quick stream last night.
Oh.
Let's just delete that.
Yeah. Were you vodkaing last night?
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, I don't judge. I whine every night.
I mean...
And I hope people understand that I mean booze, not... You know, I mean, I probably do actually whine, too.
I whine. Wine is fun. I'm gonna assume it sounds... good.
Do we have headphones? We could try it on one of our phones.
Blah, blah, blah.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
Can I be this douchebag?
It's a little delayed.
It is. But I think it's so that, I don't know.
So YouTube can blur out any penises?
Probably.
Or vaginas?
But I can hear us.
Okay, well, this is not that kind of podcast, so you won't be seeing our penises or our vaginas. Do we need to shut the door in case someone comes home?
Probably.
Okay.
Okay.
We're streaming, and I'm just gonna turn around in the chair so y'all don't have to see my big rear end. Okay. I'm back. Ish. Kind of.
Okay.
Not really. I'm gonna roll over one of the cat toys. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, look, there I am. This is amusing.
Hey, look, there you are.
You shouldn't let me watch that screen. I'll be real confused.
This screen?
Yeah, that one.
Then don't look at it.
I can't help it. I'll try not to.
You just said, hey, look, there I am.
What is that, about a 5-second delay?
There. Can you...
Okay, no, I can deal with that.
Okay.
As long as I can't see myself, I'll be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I just want to see the excellent connection thing.
Okay.
Okay.
We have an excellent connection.
With each other and you, internet.
Yes, people of the interwebs.
Oh my god. So...
Did you hear?
Catchy intro.
Did you
god.
hear? What? Chad Daybell was finally arrested.
Finally? Why?
Because human remains were found on his property.
Huh.
That's what we knew yesterday.
Hmm.
Initially the police made it sound like there was maybe just one set of human remains, because they were saying things like an autopsy would need to be performed, not autopsies. So I was holding out hope that one of the children was still alive.
But 2 sets.
There were 2 sets of human remains. That's what we learned
Yes.
at Mr. Daybell's arraignment today.
Because Homeboy has been charged with 2 felonies for concealing, altering, or something.
Destroying
evidence.
Mm-hmm.
2 counts, and both of them involve human remains.
Yes.
Yes. So, if you're not familiar with the story, who the hell are you, for one thing?
Yeah, have you been living in a cave somewhere?
I mean, probably.
I
But-
wish I could live in a cave between COVID and
Hell.
protests and riots.
Hell,
And...
maybe Psycho Lori and Cuckoo Chad are right, and the end of the world is next month. That's about all we have left for this year that hasn't happened.
You know, at this point, I welcome it.
Nah, it could be fun.
Yeah.
Unless Lori Vallow is God, and then I don't want it.
No. She's a translated being. She's
not
God.
I read a thing that said that she thought she was also a god or something. Like, I can't.
Well, yeah, but Mormons think they're going to become gods.
Oh.
So...
Okay, if you really get planets, can I not have anything to do with her planet?
Well, technically, like, you'd have your own.
Okay, well, I want
if you
nothing
got
near
there.
her planet.
And, you'd be an eternal baby-making machine. So do you want to spend the rest of eternity making the spirit babies?
No, I want to do none of these things.
I don't want to do any of them either.
Yep. Anyway, so if you journey back to the beginning.
The very beginning.
The very beginning.
When I was 3.5 years old.
And I was 2.5 years old because we're a year apart.
Mm-hmm.
And
almost
a day.
Exactly.
Or one day less than I don't know how to do
I think
math.
it's a day more than a year.
Okay.
I think.
No, I don't. I'm not going to think about it.
August 13th to August 13th would be a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's to the 14th is a year plus a day.
But since you're the older one, are we going from the 14th to the 13th?
Oh, I guess you're right.
Oh, this isn't a math podcast. We apologize.
Sorry, we digress.
So once upon a time, when we were 2 and 3.5, a man named Chad Daybell got married to a lady named Tammy Daybell in Utah because, you know.
Ooh, and Manti. That's where the pretty temple is in Utah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, the Manti temple, I believe, is one of the real pretty ones that people, like,
interesting.
want to get married in.
So, yeah,
you can Google that, people.
Yeah, and so Chad made his book company, which I still haven't mustered up the courage to test out one of his books, but I do have Audible credits, so maybe when I'm done with the book I'm listening to now, I will give a kooky Chad book a try.
Okay, but I'm only interested if Chad reads the kooky Chad books.
Oh god, I'll have to check.
I'm not interested if someone else is reading them.
So
I might have to pay for Audible.
Yep. So Chad and Tammy move into their home in Salem. Is this the same home where he was arrested yesterday?
I believe so.
It very well could be.
Yes.
So they've been in that house 20. Yeah, blah.
So 5 years.
So in 2006, fasting forward, a long time.
26 years? Or 16 years? That's just 16 years.
Yeah, it is. Lori!
You shouldn't let Sally do the math.
Still not a math podcast. Lori marries not her first husband. It's not her second or her third husband. It's her fourth husband.
So Chad was number 5.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the one before Chatty.
Daddy. I stole that from another podcast. YouTube channel person. Anyway.
Maybe later, and if I edit this into a video or something, even though it is a video, I found this sweet diagram on eastidahonews.com where it shows, like, Lori and her husbands and arrows and kids because, like...
It's confusing.
Tylee's brother came from marriage number 2, but Tylee came from marriage number 3.
But I think her dad adopted the brother from marriage number 2.
Yeah, because his last name is also Ryan, which is daddy number 3.
Okay.
And then JJ is from daddy number 4.
Kind of.
Last names match.
Okay.
So, Tylee, yeah. Adopted Joshua.
So Joshua was Charles Vallow's great nephew.
Okay.
And him and Lori adopted him.
And then Kay and Larry Woodcock are the grandparents.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Kay is Charles's sister.
That have been looking for the kids since they went missing. I feel bad for them.
Yeah, I feel terrible for these people. And I think that they kind of bought the nonsense initially because I don't think they really reported anything till October or November.
Well, I think the lies were so good in the beginning before people started talking to each other.
Right.
Like, oh, JJ's with blah in Arizona for a month. Like, you might believe that on the surface, but then once things keep getting weirder...
Well, and then once that month is up, where is he now?
Yeah. So they started going to Hawaii in 2014, and then moved back to the mainland because you never stay in Hawaii apparently.
Well, it's very expensive to live in Hawaii.
Yes, I hear this.
Also, the idea of living on an island is very off-putting to me, but I don't know if other people are put off by it.
I'm just really afraid of tsunamis.
I like the thought that I could get in my car and drive in a straight line for, well, not a straight line, but more or less a straight line on an interstate freeway for like 2 days. Without seeing the ocean.
Yeah, you can't do that in Hawaii.
Right, yeah, that's my problem.
Yeah.
Once again, I digress.
Well, So, back to the mainland in between 2016 and 17, and the Vallows lived in Arizona. And, Tylee's father, Joseph Ryan, who was husband number 3, died on April 3rd, 2018. Supposedly... I said supposedly on purpose. Supposedly, his death was a heart attack, and he was cremated, so we can't find out if that heart attack was caused by poisoning or something.
Yeah, I think that is my
Because
theory.
you
If
can-
she poisons people
You can cause heart attacks.
with
Weird.
poisons.
So, his death is ruled like natural. He had a heart attack and died. It happens every day, right? Okay.
I mean, it does. I still think he was kind of young, though. I don't think he was super young, but he was still a little young to be having a fatal heart attack.
A little young to where if he had a fatal heart attack, maybe you do an autopsy before you cremate him.
You would think.
Apparently nobody does autopsies in this story. Until now, when it's too late.
Okay.
So, what are we? We're up to like a year before the case happens.
Well, and where does the case start, though?
Right. So, Chad and Lori made their first appearance together on a podcast about warrioring up and preparing the people. I don't know if we're saying those names in conjunction with them still, because that website was sketchy. Was that, or was it something else?
Well, I don't know. They had a podcast network.
They removed the
Okay.
podcast.
Okay, well, it happened. We all know it happened.
They appeared with several others on the podcast, and Preparing a People has since removed the podcast and publicly dissociated itself with both of the kooks.
As you do.
So, 2 months after this podcast starts, so we can only assume they're doing it or talking about wanting to do it, in case they still believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
Charles Vallow files for divorce in February of 2019. So this is husband number 4. Filing for divorce. February last year.
This is part of my theory. He files for divorce and moves out because I think he did fairly well in his business dealings, or at least juggled things enough to where he could not live with the crazy woman.
Yeah.
So I don't think she could poison him because she wasn't feeding him any longer. That's my theory.
Oh, I like it.
Okay.
I like it. So, he files for divorce because apparently she starts, viewing herself as a godlike figure preparing for the second coming of Christ, according to court documents that news channels have acquired and read. I want to acquire them and read them.
Me too. I think I saw them once upon a time.
Probably. Charles Vallow also claimed these documents. His wife would kill him if he got in her way to perform her mission of preparing.
Well, and then, she was telling everyone that they were one of the 144,000.
Yeah.
That will, because I think there's some biblical reference to that.
It's
because,
but the Jews are the chosen people.
Well,
and stuff, I think.
Right.
I don't know.
But the Mormons think that they've been adopted into the House of Israel, and
there's more Mormons than there are spots in...
Well, there's more Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Jehovah's Witnesses believe in the 144,000 too.
I can't, anyway.
Yeah, what do you do when your church moves beyond 144,000 people?
Oh, darn.
See, and I don't think the Mormon, the mainstream Mormon church doesn't, it's in the Bible, so yeah, it's there, but I don't think they believe that those are the only people going to heaven.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's weird.
Maybe they get special heaven.
Well, of course they get special heaven.
Kolob. So, the divorce proceedings are stopped because he wants to make the marriage work, which, I don't know, I'd be weirded out if, my wife was saying she was going to kill me if I got in the way of her holy mission.
I can also see, though, if you love someone and want them... Because here's the thing. He joined the Mormon church basically to be with Lori.
Yeah.
So I don't think he had as firm of a grasp as someone who was raised in it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's probably thinking, my wife is suffering from mental illness. I want to help her. I want to,
Yeah. Yeah.
try to make this work for the child we've adopted together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he was somewhat attached to her other children.
Yes. I mean, children are a big part of everything, usually, so... Yeah, maybe he thought it was just a psychotic episode and she got a little normal for a while.
Yeah.
Less kooky. So during divorce proceedings, they say that Lori disappeared for nearly 2 months, leaving the children with other people. And I don't know if anybody knows where she was while she was missing. I'm assuming hanging out with Chatty Daddy.
she wasn't in a portal in her closet. Did you hear about the portals?
Yes. I didn't know we were bringing up portals already.
Sorry, I mean, maybe she couldn't figure out how to get out of the portal.
Oh, so she went in the portal and then got stuck?
Right.
Ah, okay.
And she had the kids go with other people just in case she got stuck.
Because she hadn't gone in the portal yet.
Right.
Maybe.
Right. It was her first time.
This makes as much sense as everything she says.
None of it makes any sense. That's why it's so freaking fascinating.
Yeah. So we're fast forwarding so February goes missing for 2 months, so that would put us in like April, May, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So in June, her niece Melanie Bordeaux demanded a divorce.
I think it's Boudreaux.
Whatever.
Okay. You're the one who took French.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Demanded a divorce from her husband Brandon. He claims his then wife had affiliated herself with similar beliefs of her aunt, Crazy Lori Vallow, and had joined a cult.
A cult with no structure, oddly enough, but I digress.
And then he was shocked because he thought, their marriage was good. Apparently not.
Until she started being a wackadoodle and hanging out with her crazy aunt.
So, next month, one whole month later, July 11th, 2019, Chandler Police Department, Arizona, find out that somebody named Alex Cox shot and killed Lori's fourth husband, Charles. And who is Alex Cox?
Alex Cox is Lori's brother.
Huh. Her brother accidentally,
In self-defense.
shot husband number 4, who was filing for divorce and probably wanted to. I mean, he should have just taken the kids and ran away.
Well, and that's the thing. He was there to get JJ for custody exchange. Yeah. And it's all, like, way too orchestrated.
Yes.
Like, Lori has Tylee put JJ in the truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go into the garage.
Mm-hmm.
So Tylee and JJ are out in the truck. But she said she had to go get something, so they, like, went into the garage or something. So then it goes down without the kids somehow seeing any of it because they were outside.
Which is convenient to not have.
Well, especially the teenage girl. She would have been a decent witness.
She's old enough to
Right.
brain and testify and know
Right.
who's pointing a gun where and who's saying what.
Well, and because she didn't see it,
Yeah.
all she has to believe is her mom and her uncle's story, who are probably the consistent people in her life, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, fourth husband, deadsies.
Yes, and I don't understand. Okay, I feel like if this had happened here, I like to think that brother would have been arrested.
Uh-huh.
Not necessarily, like, just for investigation. Like, someone is dead.
Yes.
We are going to investigate this, measure the, bullet tracks and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be walking free.
No.
I don't know what Arizona's laws are, though. So
Right.
maybe it's 100% normal in Arizona for that to happen.
Living in a state where if somebody breaks into my house and I can shoot them dead, I would like to think that if that's the case, they would investigate it, though, still. Even if I was the one that killed somebody in my house.
Well, and, like, these are the things they teach you, like, in concealed carry classes, is the potential consequences if you have to use your gun, even in self-defense.
Right.
You're gonna need a lawyer.
Uh-huh.
You're probably gonna go to jail.
Uh-huh.
You might not have to stay there, but you're gonna go there. So I don't understand Arizona's processes, clearly.
So that happens in July.
Mm-hmm.
So then, less than a month later, maybe a month later, by the end of August, Lori, the children, the brother, and the niece move to Rexburg. Lovely, lovely Rexburg.
Also known as Iceberg. It's a very cold place.
Yeah, that comes into play.
That'll be important later, people.
So, September 8th, 2019, which is an important date now. Tylee, JJ, Lori, and Alex, I'm right. Oh my god, I'm right. I swear. They visit Yellowstone National Park because Rexburg is like this far away.
Oh yeah, which is funny because I've still never been to Yellowstone.
So when the kids were missing and nobody, like, where are they? So they later find through, like, pictures and stuff that the last time Tylee is seen is this day in Yellowstone. September 8th, 2019. Now, spoiler alert, one of Chatty Daddy's felony charges has that same date associated with it.
Didn't the judge say between on or about September 8th or 9th until
June something.
yesterday?
Yeah. Yeah, so starting from the last time she was seen, I'm just, just saying they're pointing at him pretty hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so they moved to Rexburg at the end of August of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Then in September, JJ gets enrolled in elementary school, because that's what you do when you move somewhere. You enroll your kid in school. But he was only there for a couple weeks.
I feel like it would have been smarter for her to have not even enrolled him in school.
It's weird, because the school's going to be like, okay, you enroll this kid after
Where
moving
is
here.
he?
Where did he go? Because September 23rd is the last day that he was in class. The next day, his mother unenrolled him. I'm now saying because he was no longer alive. She said she was going to homeschool him. Maybe that elementary school in Rexburg was just too crazy for her beliefs.
Yeah. Okay, but you're not going to find public schools any more conservative than you will find in Rexburg, Idaho.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I live in the non-Mormon part of Idaho, and the public schools are pretty damn conservative.
Right.
But in the Mormon part of Idaho, and Rexburg is heavily, heavily Mormon. Probably more Mormon than a lot of Utah. Very, very Mormon.
If you're not familiar with certain parts of southern Idaho, really Mormon. And if you're from there, grew up there, we understand. So as far as Tylee goes, they don't really know the last time, she was seen, blah, blah, blah. Probably that photo of Yellowstone, but
that's what I'm leaning towards.
She should have been in school, but they say she wasn't enrolled in school because she'd already graduated. I'm wondering if there's any proof of that anywhere. I don't know.
I don't know if we can.
Yeah. So, they're now both MIA. But at this point, it's not a huge deal. It's just like, okay, it's kind of weird. Been missing for a little while.
The kids have been somewhere for a month-ish.
Like, where? Yeah.
Maybe not even a whole month, really. Because it was the end of August when they moved.
Right. We don't even necessarily... when did it become national news?
Not till, almost Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So, October 1st, Lori rents a 10x10 storage unit in Rexburg. And they discovered this later. I think,
yes,
is that in November when we started paying attention, or was that December?
I think it was December when they actually found the... Well... It had to have been because they didn't, nothing really started until Thanksgiving with the background.
Down there, because they hadn't done the welfare check and stuff.
Yeah.
So, retroactively, they learned this. Surveillance cameras show... Daybell and a man associated with her visited the unit 9 times between October and once in November. The man appears to be Alex Cox, sometimes alone. Once again, Alex Cox, who, in self-defense, has already killed somebody close to this.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. On the next day, Brandon Bordeaux, said he was shot he was shot at, and the bullet missed his head by inches.
And this was in Arizona.
The shooter was driving a Jeep registered to now dead Charles Vallow. That same day, Lori kind of bought a wedding ring on Amazon. But husband is dead. Why does she need a wedding ring?
Yeah.
A week later, don't forget, Chad has a wife.
Oh yeah, Chad still has a fucking wife.
Who's alive?
A wife. Not
a life wife.
A live wife.
A life wife. She called 911 because she said a masked man was shooting at her with a paintball gun, and didn't really know anything about it. It's weird. 10 days later, the family called 911 saying Tammy died in her sleep. The investigators ruled the death as natural, and she was buried on October 22nd.
And in all fairness, at this point, the investigators didn't. I mean,
They hadn't
connected the dots.
They hadn't connected
Well,
the crazy
they probably
yet.
didn't know about the kids even being missing at
Right.
this point.
At this point, it's nobody. You know, sometimes people die in their sleep. Who knows?
I mean, I guess it happens. It won't
does.
happen to me because I'm not that lucky, but I guess it happens.
I'm gonna fall off of something really tall and then die a real slow, painful death. That's my luck.
I'll probably just be old and
So,
wasting away in a bed in an adult diaper.
a friend says that they received a text from Tylee's phone a few days after that, on October 25th, that said, "Hi, miss you guys too, love ya." Not from Tylee.
No, you don't think?
Spoilers! Probably
Okay.
not. I'm just assuming.
I think it's a safe assumption to
Yeah.
make that she wasn't sending text messages
Well,
a
especially not
month
just
and a
like
half after her death.
one text message.
Well,
If
right.
it was a whole conversation or something, there might be merit to that. But they still don't know. So, the Rexburg Police Department, in a release within weeks of Tammy's death, something weird happens.
Okay.
Chatty Daddy is getting married again. Like,
This is literally like 2 weeks from the funeral.
October 22nd.
Do you have the date calculator on your computer?
I don't know. But less than a month. Less than 3 weeks.
I think it was, yeah, I think
It's
it was
like-
like right at like 17 days or something, if I recall.
Yeah, it's
I will
just,
try to calculate.
It's just ridiculous. So, they get married in Hawaii because they are no longer in Idaho.
Ooh,
So, they get married on November 5th, 2019. So, then I saw video footage of this. I think we watched it together. Police were talking to Chad, and he told, maybe it was witnesses, I don't know. I saw a video of it. I thought police were there, but Chad said that Lori had no minor children. But JJ was 7 and Tylee was 17, and in Idaho those are both minors.
Yes, I mean, I can see fudging it a little bit if there's a 17-year-old
Yeah.
and they're, you know,
Yeah.
staying with friends all the time.
But no minor children. Okay. I don't really know much about the bit about police saying Lori told police Tylee died years ago, because I mean,
What?
I hadn't heard that part.
Oh, she told people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, okay, but like that was like, because remember Chad told his
Or is that because she's a
sister-in-law.
zombie?
Possibly.
I can't.
But remember Chad told his sister-in-law that that she was an empty nester.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hence, that thing that happens when your kids grow up and go away to college.
Yes. Yes.
I can't. So, extended family by the Thanksgiving-ish time. Probably,
Well, yeah, because they haven't heard from
Probably-
a child they probably used to hear from.
right, and they probably didn't get a call like, hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Right.
Having so much fun, turkey.
Right.
So, family requests a welfare check. Police did not find JJ. And the Daybells said that JJ was staying with someone in Arizona. We know.
I believe that was Melanie Gibb.
I think so. We know now because they contacted her and pressed on her a little bit, and she said that no, JJ was not staying with her and she hadn't seen him in months either.
Correct. And if you want to watch an interesting interview, East Idaho News did like a 3-part interview with this woman. And I think she got sucked into Lori's nonsense and then realized it was nonsense. And just kind of went back to Arizona where she lived and was like, oh, yeah, she's kind of crazy, but
Yeah.
I don't have to see her every day anymore, so I'm just going to live my life. And then the police show up asking her about her friend's child,
Yeah.
who has not been staying with her or seeing the movie Frozen.
Oh, God. I forgot about Frozen.
Forgot about Frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next day, Rexburg police is asked to serve a search warrant, request of Arizona authorities, to the townhome. I think that's where the doorbell footage of JJ running around outside was her townhome.
Yes. But that was well before November.
Right, but so the search warrant is for the townhome area. The log also indicated the call was related to a missing 7-year-old now known to be JJ and homicide investigations in Arizona. Police showed up to do the search warrant and the Daybells were gone.
Shocking. It was a planned trip, though, if you believe the attorney in the ill-fitting suit coat.
The timing is just...
Convenient timing for a planned move.
Because they have since proven through airline and other records that Chad and Lori flew to Hawaii.
Well, and here's the thing.
Without children.
Right, without the children. But they drove to Los Angeles and flew out of Los Angeles. Like, yeah, plane tickets are probably cheaper from Los Angeles to Hawaii than Boise to Hawaii.
But I can't imagine, like, a one-way from Boise to LA
right,
would be that much.
But that's the thing. It wouldn't... Yeah, a one-way from Boise to LA wouldn't be that much. I mean, granted, from Rexburg, it's like a 6-hour drive, I think, to Boise.
But it's a lot farther to drive to LA.
Right. I mean, I know you can get... Well, and right now is probably not the best time to look at flight prices, because, you know.
It's a good guess, though. So let's just pretend like they bought it in advance.
Okay.
On a Thursday. Let's just...
Okay.
One way. 2 travelers. Nobody under 18. 0 under 18. Searching flights from 400 plus airlines.
I had no idea there were even that many airlines left in business at this point.
Maybe they just haven't updated their graphic yet.
Probably.
As low as $78 right now, so maybe $100, $200, maybe.
Yeah.
They're flying to fucking Hawaii. They can afford that.
Right.
I'm just saying, no freaking way. And I think those were one-way fare or non-stop fares, which are usually even, I don't know.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, I could have actually looked up American Airlines if I wanted to be real accurate, but...
Yeah, whatever.
So, at this point, I think people are kind of going, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Deputies are now kind of poking around and calling Chad's dead wife's death suspicious.
No shit.
So they exhume her body to perform an autopsy in Utah.
As you do.
And the results are still pending.
Yeah.
December was a long time ago, but I get, it's not TV. You can't exhume somebody who's been, I'm assuming, embalmed and everything else and just immediately get results.
Right.
It's not like
I don't
TV.
think you're going to get immediate results, and I don't know what the capacity is of the medical examiners in Utah.
Right. And you figure there could be issues, especially, starting in February, labs were focusing on one and only thing.
Right.
Which is the Rona.
Yeah, which I'm sick of, but whatever.
Yeah, well,
it doesn't seem to be going away.
It's coming back. Yay.
Well, yeah, because people need to protest, so they got to be in close contact with each other.
It's super great.
Anyway.
I
have no problem with peaceful protests.
Right.
I don't want people to take this the wrong way.
I just have a problem with people being all up in each other's faces
and
when
not
there's
wearing their masks.
Still a disease going around that will kill people. I'll die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so autopsy's still pending. Even now, I haven't heard anything. I kind of poked around and
and there might be an issue of. Because, I know here when they do autopsies, usually one of the investigating officers goes and observes.
Yeah.
Because, chain of custody, and they've got to make sure,
Mm-hmm.
everything's done right and recorded properly, and it's quite the process.
Yeah. So, the next day.
Okay.
Mind you, we really started going day by day, in September? August-ish?
I think it started going real day by day like at Thanksgiving.
So, we are now on December 12th, 2019. All this the same year. Alex Cox dies. in Arizona.
Yes. Also waiting for an autopsy. Which
we now know he died from a pulmonary embolism, which can be caused by various poisons and other things. I mean, if he was suicidal, he could have put air in his vein, and that would cause, like...
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Didn't you say that carbon monoxide exposure could do that?
Carbon monoxide poisoning can, hemlock, a lot of common poisons can cause blood clots and such in the lungs. So I'm just saying... I can't. Fast forward a week.
Ooh, a whole week this time.
Well, 8 days. The Rexburg Police Department went public on their search for the missing kids. This is, 3 months? 3-ish months after they were last seen, really.
Yes.
So, hope is not good, really. No. But then they think maybe Chatty's wife dying might be related. Because now suddenly you're going from 1 dead person associated to 3 dead for sure.
2 missing.
Well, third husband also dead technically, but probably not related to this, but I think she offed him.
I think she offed him too, but we don't know that for sure.
Anyway, I mean, we went from very...
Well, we went from Charles being dead, which was definitely suspicious.
Right.
To all of a sudden Tammy being dead, Alex being dead.
Yeah.
2 children missing.
Right.
Which we know now they are dead. I mean, that's 5 dead people.
That's a lot of dead people to have surrounding anybody.
I mean, I don't think I know 5 people that are in my close circle that have died and,
I have a lot of relatives that are dead, but they weren't within months of each other.
Right, and they were old.
Mostly. Or they had serious health conditions that were verified.
Right.
By a medical professional.
Right.
So, what are we? The Monday following this announcement of the missing and the search, the attorney representing the Daybells, who is not representing either one of them currently.
No.
Same now.
Well, and let's remember that different attorneys specialize in
yeah.
different things.
Oh, yeah.
So this was probably a family law attorney who was like, well, you're within your rights to not,
Yeah.
You don't have to tell anyone where your kids are, kind of constitutionalist.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Type. I'm not going to say nonsense because that's mean, but ideology maybe.
Okay.
Is that a polite way to put it?
He said that they would address the allegations once they move beyond rumor and speculation. Okay.
Most rumors, I'm sorry, but most rumors are based in fact.
Yeah.
Rarely is a rumor made up out of nothing.
Right.
It's a little stuffy in your office today.
A little bit.
Anywho. Much better.
I hope you enjoyed the up close of my boob or whatever that was.
I don't know. I mean, your shirt's black. I don't think they can tell.
So, what are we? A week later, the assistant police chief... Is that the same one that was in the press conference yesterday? I don't think so. Name's not familiar. Gary Hagen. Anyway,
I think it might be, though.
It might be. He told East Idaho News that investigators were no closer to finding the kids. And he said that they were using every tool available, which is, I mean, I don't doubt the police searching. Especially somewhere, I feel like in an area where family's all important, everybody's probably like, oh my god, missing kids, we must,
Well, and that's the other thing. The fact that Lori wasn't concerned about it would kind of, I feel like that would set off a lot of red flags in the LDS community.
Yeah.
Your kid's missing and you're going to Hawaii?
You're basically running away and eloping and you don't know where your kids are.
Well, they'd gotten married before this. They'd gone
yeah.
to Hawaii and gotten married.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
A month before they ran to Hawaii.
I maintain that they thought Hawaii was another country and they couldn't get extradited if they were there.
I mean, people probably haven't listened to our other stuff. But I've said this before. I don't think Lori's smart. I'm also beginning to think Chad's also not smart.
I don't think I ever thought he was smart.
No.
She's proving... She's not smart in, the smart sense.
She's, sneaky and devious, but she's an idiot.
Yes. She gets, low intelligence but high devious, and it kind of, maybe balances out at times. But now she's in jail. Oh, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Uh,
I can't wait to see her next hearing and see how gray her hair is now.
oh my god, her roots are gonna be so grown out.
I know.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
I can't wait.
We're warped individuals.
We have very little to look forward to in our day-to-day.
It reminded me of Ricky Bobby. Anyway.
Ricky Bobby is everything.
I do love
Anarchy!
I do love me some Ricky Bobby.
Oh, yes. December 30th, 2019. It's a lot of information for a short time span, really. Rexburg police updated the news saying, we have information indicating Lori either knows where the fudge her children are or what the fudge happened to them. Looking back at this, I will say she did in fact definitely know exactly probably where they were and what happened to them.
I mean, she had to have had a general idea.
I'm assuming it didn't happen without her knowledge. Or she might be upset and tell somebody, like, it just...
Well, okay, but here's the other thing. I can see her doing something. And I think, have I said this already? I think Alex does all her dirty work. Or did all her dirty work. Ignore the motorcycle, we had to. So, I think maybe if she poisoned the children, because I think that's what she does. This is purely my speculation on how she killed her children. I think she poisoned them.
Maybe with the same thing that caused Charles, husband number 3, Alex. Is that all the... Tammy? Is that all the dead people? I'm losing track.
I mean, that weren't shot.
Oh, yeah. True.
I mean, time will tell. We will find out how they actually died. So, I think she might have poisoned them, and then I think Alex has to get rid of the bodies. So, I do feel like Alex and Chad must have at least had a conversation about what to do. And I read an interesting article yesterday about how Chad had a career at a cemetery digging graves. I think he was like the manager kind of the cemetery. It's called a sexton.
He would still know length and width and depth and like the science behind when you bury a body and
Keeping
it decomposes.
them,
the ground might go like this, so maybe you put things in there to keep it supported.
Yeah, he knew about grave digging. We'll just leave it at that.
It's an interesting thing to happen.
Yeah,
to know
you
about.
really should. It's a Deseret News article,
especially
people.
When you,
it's hilarious.
You fast forward and they find human remains buried on your property.
Yes. Yes.
I think he had something to do with the digging.
I mean, he knows about the digging.
Yeah. He probably went out and showed people how and made sure they were digging properly.
Probably.
So, local investigators and the FBI...
So we're January 3rd now.
It's finally a new year. Oh my god.
Had we known what a crap show 2020 would be, I think we would have all passed.
Yeah. They serve a search warrant on the Daybell home on January 3rd. Once again, what do we call Rexburg, Idaho?
Iceberg.
Because...
I bet we can find out what the temperature was on January 3rd. I would guarantee you it was maybe in the teens, if not single digits.
So they confiscated, recovered computers, cell phones, journals, documents, medications, all the stuff you would take to a lab. We saw people today posting...
I think that I had someone last week posted it snowed in Montana near Rexburg in June.
Yeah.
So
people were like, well, if they already did a search warrant, why didn't they find the bodies then?
Right.
Have you tried to dig in the ground that's hella frozen?
You can't do it. You'll break equipment. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
So let's see what they have
Especially
to
if you're
say.
digging down to the depth that somebody who knows about burying bodies would dig. If you go to weather.com, you can
Is
see...
it weather.com? Okay.
You can see, like,
because it's trying to give me the temperature there now, and I know that's not accurate.
What's the temperature there now?
I don't know.
Oh.
It might be warmer than here.
It's very important that we look up the weather in Rexburg, damn it.
It really is. Bear with us, people. I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if the thing I'm thinking of will pop up on your mobile version. Because I know when I had somebody coming to visit, they were all like, I don't like the cold. And so I was looking at this calendar that showed every temperature every day previous and then predictions for the future.
Let me see. Oh, let's see what this does. It'll give me
monthly.
Okay.
I think this is the thing.
Oh, I have that. Let me see if it'll go back. Oh, yeah, it'll let me go back. I can go back to... Yes. Okay, January 2020.
We can literally find out when the ground would have been diggable.
So the high was 28.
Bowl me.
Low was 16.
And it was below freezing almost the entire month of January.
As Rexburg is.
And even colder in February.
Yeah, February was worse.
And March...
You might have had a few good days in March.
It was above freezing, but still cold enough at night that the ground probably didn't thaw.
Oh, yeah, like, look. It was like, even when it was 52, it was getting down to 25 degrees at night.
Right, so you're digging into April now, and we still have 17 degrees at night. So the ground probably didn't really start thawing until the end of April, beginning of May. And even then, it's not like you can just dig down deep real fast. Like, because at 36, like, you know, it would have started thawing. But
right. Well, and here's the other thing we have to look at. The Rexburg Police Department probably does not have the resources to just say, hey, we're going to go dig this up right now.
Right.
Like, they had to coordinate. I'm sure they had to coordinate with someone for a cadaver dog. I know the FBI was involved. That's probably where they got the cadaver dog.
Yeah, I feel like Rexburg.
You don't think Rexburg
probably doesn't. Do we have a cadaver dog? I know we have a drug dog and a bomb dog.
I know we have drug dogs and bomb dogs and go get the guy out of the attic dogs.
I like that dog too. He's a good boy.
And a really hot officer that has to carry him on his shoulders. Anyway, to throw him up into the attic.
We got distracted.
Anyway.
Police
dogs are awesome.
Yep.
So they had to get a cadaver dog, which I'm sure that was FBI. Because I don't think the county down there has a cadaver dog.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I think if we get a cadaver dog, it's probably out of Spokane.
Probably.
In all actuality.
And it's probably from a federal agency in Spokane.
Probably.
You don't just have cadaver dogs everywhere. They're not as common.
I mean, it would be cool to train your dog to be a cadaver dog.
It'd freak me out if I was hiking and all of a sudden my dog alerted.
Yeah, that'd be a little creepy.
Just be like, oh God, what is it? Dig a little. This is a foot.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I take it back. I don't want my dog trained as a cadaver dog.
That'd be awkward.
I mean, I don't have a dog, so there's that.
Anyway.
So, yes, they served a search warrant in the house. I think they took things for further analysis, and maybe that analysis gave them clues.
You know, search histories on computers.
Right.
Things like that.
Right.
They keep looking. Still looking. The grandparents traveled to Rexburg from Louisiana to meet with investigators. They held a news conference announcing a $20,000 reward. Talked about how beautiful and intelligent they are and wanting them in their family. Like, I'm just saying, I feel like at this point, had they been alive, they may have been no longer misplaced. Yeah. Just once
$20,000 would solve, like, literally all of my financial woes.
Student loans would still be there a little bit, but everything else would be good.
I only went to beauty school, so my student loans are paid for now. So
I got 2 useless bachelor's degrees because I'm an overachiever.
You know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of people, and I mean, I would assume the economy, I know housing's a lot cheaper down there, so it would probably solve a few more problems for some people in Rexburg than it would for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty sizable reward.
Right. Especially just it's becoming more and more clear we all silently know where the children are without knowing.
I mean, the better story was that they were in Yellowstone somewhere, but dead, of course, not alive, and just roaming about. being raised by wolves in Yellowstone.
That
which is also a great story.
That would have been so much more magical.
Yes, it would have been.
Chad's brother, Matt, pleads for him to cooperate on January 10th. Says that immediate family had little association with each other due to concerns over his religious claims and particular books he published.
Okay, so I guess we should kind of explain that a little bit.
Yes.
He was a member of the mainstream LDS, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Bless you.
Yeah, I know. It's a mouthful. But he's...
That's what he said.
Yes. Yes, he did. Or she said?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway.
They said it.
Someone said it. He, she, them, whatever. So... the mainstream LDS church has some kind of bizarre beliefs that most people know about. And they're kind of weird, but they're not, like... We're not labeling people as light and dark spirits.
They're not...
Like, Chad had this whole scale of rating people.
Oh, yeah.
And he, like, in my opinion, like, this is why I don't know if he was a victim of Lori or if Lori was a victim of him. Because, like, he rated all these people in Lori's life as, like, different degrees light and dark. And, like, certain levels could change back and forth easily.
Mm-hmm.
But certain levels you were for sure good or you were for sure evil. You couldn't change.
Yeah.
Which is not really, like... I mean, I have my own issues with the Mormon Church. But I will say that's not a belief the Mormon Church espouses. Is your backup battery chirping? Oh, you hit the button. I don't think anything shut off. I think we're still recording.
Yeah? Okay.
That was weird.
Just giving it a second because I don't trust shit. Anyway, so... The belief that Chad upholds is that people are reborn or graduate to the next level when they die. Most members of the LDS Church are level 2, and that the dark side can only match light, not exceed it. 2s and 3s are fluid and can change sides during Earth life. 4.1 and above have made covenants to their side and rarely switch. Tylee was rated as a 4.1 dark.
Why? But I don't understand how a 17-year-old child is dark.
Her father, who was deadsies, was listed as a 4.3 dark.
Okay, but he probably came up with this graph
Right.
before he died, and that's why he got dead.
And according to that, since he died when he was a 4.3 dark, he's now sealed away. Lori, meanwhile, is a 4.2 light.
Of course she is, because he wants to get in that sweet, sweet vagina.
Oh, no, I lied. That was JJ.
Oh.
JJ is a 4.2 light.
Okay.
And Charles Vallow was a 3 light.
Okay.
Alex Cox was a 2 light.
I mean, I can see Alex being wishy-washy.
I mean, Lori believed that she was assigned to carry out the work of the 144,000 at Christ's coming in July of 2020.
These are not mainstream LDS beliefs, by the way.
I don't know if this
Because if they were, I feel like my mom would have called me to repentance by now.
Can't. I don't know if that said what Lori was.
I thought you read what Lori was. I thought you said she was a 4.2 light.
No, I think that was JJ. This is confusing me.
Okay, well, we don't need to get into all this. Basically, Diana's on a quest now, but basically those are not mainstream LDS beliefs. And, like, they believe in... Chad believed in this whole theory of, like...
she's a 4.3 light.
Okay. Chad believed in this whole theory of multiple mortal probations. Like, most Mormons believe you come to Earth, you get a body, you live your life, as long as, you're righteous and believe in everything, you'll, and do the appropriate handshakes in the temple. You will go to the celestial kingdom after the resurrection. So, like, when you die, you just go to paradise. But until the resurrection, you just hang out in paradise and, I don't know, eat grapes or something. I made that up. I have no idea.
I like it.
So, but Chad believed that there's no way you could learn, because Mormons really do believe that they're going to become gods of their own world someday.
They're going to have planets.
Right, they're going to have planets. So, they believe that God was once a man, which pisses off a lot of Christians. But it's what they believe.
Man
so,
as in dude walking around?
Yeah.
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 Isn't Adam God or something?
Oh, that was Brigham Young, and that's my favorite, like,
Okay.
abandoned Mormon belief.
I just want a t-shirt that says make Adam God again.
Me too. We've got to go to Sunstone and get that t-shirt.
We do.
So, and there's some, like, fundamentalist, like, groups that still believe that, which, I don't know, kind of makes my day a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, so he believed that there's no way you could learn everything you need to know to become a god in one life.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of like reincarnation, but you only come back as a person. You don't come back as...
A sewer rat if you're a horrible person.
Right. Which, I mean, I think at this point, Chad and Lori are gonna come back as, like, dung beetles or something. You have to eat shit if you believe in reincarnation. I digress. So, he had bizarre beliefs. And I think by, like, telling Lori, oh, you're light, you're this, you're that he was sucking her into his...
Is it a coincidence that I just found a list that had, like, all of the people he rated on it in the family?
Yes.
Third husband? Third husband was a too dark.
But he supposedly molested the older boy.
Colby?
Yes.
Who is I think it was a 3 light. Lori is the highest rated on his freaking scale. I'm just wondering why if JJ was one of the second highest rated.
Okay, but so Mormons, so this is funny, this has changed.
Okay.
So Mormons, like, currently believe, like, my mom literally believes this, that if you come to Earth with some sort of mental disability, it's because you were, like, a strong warrior in the war in heaven, and that God spared you because you fought so hard that you don't have to be tempted by Satan. So that you get to just live this sweet, innocent life, because you have to have a body. Mormons believe you have to have a body. You have to come to Earth, you have to have a body.
But what if I want to live in the primordial ooze or whatever the hell that was?
Forever, like in Saturday's Warrior.
Yeah.
You never get a body and you can't fulfill your eternal, like, that's the whole thing. Mormons believe in eternal progression, which kind of comes back to the multiple mortal probations, where how could you possibly learn all this in one lifetime? So you must get more than one. Which is what Chad believes, which is why he told Lori that they had been sealed to each other in a previous life. And I kind of think that maybe he was down for a polygamous type situation, but Tammy, his actual wife, well, I mean, he's married Lori now, but
yeah,
his wife that someone killed.
His actual wife at the time.
Probably was not down for a polygamous situation.
Maybe not.
And he probably manipulated her in some way. I mean, I can't know. Like, in all fairness, I really can't know. But, like, why would you... But then, like, did Lori kind of come to some of these beliefs on her own? And then did they merge with hers, like, his, or...
Chad narrates some of his books.
Oh!
He narrates some of his books.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Somebody named Seth Daybell narrates some, too, which could be just as good.
It could be. Is it
God.
a child or a brother? We're gonna Google this. Do you think anyone's watching our live stream? We've been going at this for an hour.
I don't think anybody is right now, but they can watch it later because it'll go up as a video.
Okay. Cool.
Oh my god. I think he only narrated one of them. Shit. I'm so excited now.
Okay, well, you have to listen to the one he narrated.
Oh, fuck me.
Because we're warped humans.
I mean, fudge.
I mean, if Charles Manson had narrated his own story, I would listen to that.
I think we need to get back to the...
Oh, yeah, back to our timeline.
Right.
Remember, this was just going to be our intro to what happened today.
Oh,
But
well.
we've gone on for an hour about our timeline.
I'll post in the description where to fast forward to. If you...
Okay.
Anyway.
I think we're delightful and people will love watching our
I think we're delightful, too. Weird. They start talking about Alex shooting Charles, and portions of stories contradict each other between Lori and Adam. Alex. Shit.
I was like, who's Adam?
Who is Adam? Adam was God.
Adam is God.
Shit.
Make Adam God again.
January 25th, Kauai police serve Lori with a notice that she must produce her misplaced children to the Department of Health and Welfare or Rexburg Police Department within 5 days.
Which she did not do. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. She did not produce misplaced children. East Idaho News, apparently good on you guys, flew to Hawaii to talk to them. Hopefully you stayed for a couple days since these bastards gave you nothing.
Okay, so I'm not sure about this, but I feel like East Idaho News is like 2 guys, and I love them.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's just 2 guys. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong, but I'll still love you guys even if there's more than 2 of you.
And if it's just 2 of you, we love you.
Yeah, you rock on, because we can't even manage to podcast
Yeah.
on a regular schedule.
January 29th. Kay and Larry file for guardianship of JJ.
Which they were granted, I believe.
I believe so. January 30th. Lori Daybell misses the 5 p.m. deadline to produce her misplaced children.
Well, I mean, she was in Hawaii. She wasn't in Rexburg with a shovel, so...
Well, she could have sent somebody to go to the location where the misplaced kids had been placed and brought them to...
That's true.
Anywhere where other people could see them. Oh, February 3rd. East Idaho News visits the storage unit where Lori Vallow had a bunch of the kids' items. Bikes, scooters, clothing, photo albums. There's a picture floating around on the internet of these quilts that have pictures of them on it. In the storage unit.
Some of those were things that I'd think, like, kids would have with them. Like, their special blanket, maybe.
Things that... It's kind of weird that maybe as a mother, if your kids were dead, you couldn't get rid of them, but you wanted to put them somewhere.
Because you didn't want to look at them every day, but you couldn't bear to throw them away.
Because their adorable faces were staring at you from the photos. Bitch.
Yeah. I wish she'd been forced to, like, leave him hanging on her walls after she killed him.
Right. February 12th. Kay Woodcock tells East Idaho News that in February, her brother, Charles, had removed Lori from $1 million life insurance policy.
Which I'm assuming Lori did not know. Because this is February 2020 when Kay is telling us what happened a year ago.
Right.
I believe it made her the beneficiary. Which is probably why she could offer the $20,000 reward for the kids.
On February 14th, Dateline NBC aired the 2-hour special called Where Are the Children? We watched that.
Yes, we did.
That was when life was normal.
I know, that was before the Rona.
It's so weird. February 20th, they arrest Lori on a $5 million, Dr. Evil style, warrant out of Madison County. She's now charged with 2 felony counts of desertion and non-support, and a pile of misdemeanors.
I'm pretty sure her charges are going to change shortly.
Fuck. Add some criminal conspiracy in there, and...
I mean, I feel like... Because here's the thing, like in Idaho, if you assist in a... Like, if you help someone after the fact in a murder case, like if you help dispose of the body... They can charge you with murder, too. Like, I would almost guarantee with Chad, they arrested him on the felony that most fit right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't feel like right now they can prove murder.
Right, but they can definitely prove that he buried human
yes,
remains.
I mean, if anything, he allowed them to be buried on his property. Like,
right.
I don't think, like, this is not a situation where someone threw a corpse over a fence. Like, you notice someone digging body-sized holes on your property.
Yeah. You mean if it's somebody other than you or your brother-in-law?
Right.
Huh. So, she
Well, it wasn't his brother-in-law yet, though.
Well, you know what I mean. Soon to be, I don't know. This whole thing's confusing me.
Okay.
So... She was in jail in Hawaii, which I think was probably real fun for her.
I have theories about that.
Because she didn't want extradition.
Initially.
She was fighting extradition.
And then next hearing, she's like, yeah, I'll go back.
I have a feeling.
I have theories that there were large islander women who don't really have the patience for people who kill their children.
Or maybe are probably whiny little white chicks in what I can only assume is probably a relatively warm jail.
Yeah.
It's probably not that cool in there. I don't know.
I hope they have air conditioning for the sake of the guards, or it's going to get real stanky. I mean, jails don't smell good anyway.
I hope they don't have air conditioning so that Lori's time there was horrible.
I don't know.
So she decides, fine,
I'll go back to Idaho.
I'll go back to Idaho.
Which was probably a wise choice for her.
Probably. Either that or she would have stayed there on higher bond until the freaking feds could bring charges against her for some shit.
Well, here's what happens with extradition, because it's the writ of habeas corpus. It's the whole... I don't know exactly what it means, but basically the governor of Idaho has a certain amount of time to get a certified warrant to the state of Hawaii's governor, so Hawaii's governor can look at it and go, yes, this is a legitimate warrant, send her the fuck back. The hell back. I'm gonna get kicked off the YouTube for using the swears.
We all are.
Don't report us, people.
It's fun. So, I know I accidentally watched her Hawaii hearing because I just searched Lori Daybell live hearing.
I think I watched those on purpose because I'm a warped individual.
Because I was looking for her first Idaho hearing, but, you know, whatever. The Hawaiian attorney was kind of funny. That's when it started.
Well, he was like, this is like, we wouldn't even hold someone for this charge here. Like, you can just, like, let her out. Like, it's fine. Like, I feel like the courts in Hawaii are, like, so chill. I mean...
maybe she should have taken the kids to Hawaii. And...
There is a local attorney who answers his office phone mahalo. So, if all the attorneys in Hawaii answer their phones mahalo when you call them... my life would be less stressful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, they put the witch on an airplane and bring her back to nice, warm, balmy Rexburg.
Do you remember how
March
hot the
5th.
one guy was who brought her back?
Forgot about hot guy.
I forgot about the hot. I think he had to have been a state... I don't know if he was a
be.
sheriff's officer down there, a state trooper. But damn.
Yep.
Gave me feelings.
I wonder if he has a canine partner.
Every now and then I think I could be a lesbian, and then I see a guy like that and I have feelings, and I'm like, oh, no, I'm straight.
Yep. So March 6th, she goes to court. She had lovely hair.
And an attorney with an ill-fitting suit coat. I will never forget that woman's jacket.
Nope. Edwina. Her and her ill-fitting suit jacket.
I hope that's a family name.
Me too. So
the only other Edwina I know is like 90.
They did reduce her bail from $5 million to $1 million.
Which was still as unattainable as $5 million.
Spoiler alert, but still in jail.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about other counties, but I know in our county, if your bond is above a certain point, they won't allow you to be an inmate worker. Because you're thought to be like a threat.
Yeah.
So I think like $1 million is the magic. Like if it's $1 million or under, you can...
I think you have to literally be under $1 million.
Okay.
Because through the job that I think we've talked about having, but I don't know if we have, I saw a thing...
But they lowered someone's bond
to like $999,999
Right.
or $499.99.
I mean,
like whatever that magic.
I don't know that Lori wants to be an inmate worker though, and I don't know if they have that program in Madison County.
I feel like it's probably not the biggest jail.
No, I also want to know how many people are currently being housed in the Madison County
They're
jail.
not cool like Kootenai County and put it all on the internet.
Ugh.
I couldn't find it. We need to make a friend. Hey, if you're down in Rexburg, let us know if you know somebody who works for the sheriff's department.
Yes, we need a Rexburg. We need a Madison County and a Fremont County.
East Idaho News.
Well, and I think it's funny that, like, I don't know where the county lines are, but I think Rexburg is actually in Madison County, and then outside of Rexburg, where Chad lived, I believe is in Fremont County. Like, I'm not sure where the line is. I mean, I have a map of this at my desk at work, but I don't know where the actual... Okay.
So Rexburg is in Madison. Fremont's this big bitch.
Okay.
And so they're not allowed to leave these 4 counties here if they bond out.
Right. Yes.
But
so Madison County is actually really small, it looks like. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been to Pocatello. Recently, actually.
Yeah.
So that's my assumption, is that Chad's home's actually outside of Rexburg and is in Fremont County. Oh, yeah. Look what we get.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. I just Googled Salem, Idaho, and...
we get helicopter shots of the search for the corpses.
There's holes, there's digging, there's tents, there's mugshots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
Also, here goes the life insurance money.
Oh, crap, yeah.
Also, so the state attorney general has been looking into Chad regarding Tammy's death.
Mm-hmm.
The attorney general's office handles insurance fraud cases.
Huh. Oh, it's an 8-minute drive to Salem.
Okay, so they're real close.
So the county line must be, like, right there.
Yep, they're on Hibbard Road.
It doesn't show me the counties, but literally like an 8-minute drive. So, might I just say I think it's hilarious that they're both in custody in separate counties.
I love it. I mean, male and female inmates are not allowed contact with each other.
I know, but they could have like that chance at a glimpse.
Maybe.
But they can't.
Well, I don't know. These are pretty small jails. I mean, the guy cells might be back there and the lady cells might be up there. And...
They might have like 4 cells.
Right. 2 lady cells.
Gosh.
Cells, not sales. It's a whole different thing.
Sales.
Okay. So back to our timeline. Lori's in Idaho. She has a hearing.
They set stuff, and then the judge gets disqualified.
And then stuff gets reset, because when you disqualify a judge...
Also, 2 of her 3 private attorneys withdraw.
Yeah, because she can't afford to pay them all, because she wasn't the beneficiary on the life insurance policy for Charles.
Crap. With 1 attorney left, on March 24th, Mark Means files a motion to reduce her bail. And he keeps trying to be like $50,000 bail. Like this million, she's not being held on murder.
But this is like
Didn't he also say 20,000?
Yeah, yeah. Well, but here's the thing. This is a common defense attorney tactic.
Yeah.
They say that a reasonable bail is what the person can afford.
Mm-hmm.
No, a reasonable bail is an amount of bail that will assure they appear for court.
Right.
It's not about the defendant being able to afford it.
Right.
It's about the defendant actually showing up for court.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman has ran. Like, I hate the fact that, like, oh, she's not a flight risk. Frickin' really?
Yeah, uh-huh.
The police came knocking on her door and she drove off in the middle of the night to LA to fly to Hawaii because she knew flying out of Idaho wasn't smart.
Right. Also, if they do, either one of them post bail, they have to wear an ankle monitor, can't leave the 4-county area, and have to check in with, like, pretrial services weekly and all this other shit.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Are we up to May 1st now?
No, we're on April 9th.
April 9th. Okay, can't skip that.
A major development involving the death of Tammy Daybell takes place. Chad and Lori Daybell are being investigated for conspiracy, attempted murder, and or murder by the Idaho Attorney General's office.
Moida. And insurance fraud, I'm sure.
I saw that document online. I want to see if there's anything else in that whole realm.
Yeah, it would be an interesting read.
May 1st, Lori Daybell walked into a Rexburg courtroom to ask again for a bail reduction.
We probably should have told our Instagram followers we were live streaming now before we started this.
Well, we're sweet.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It'll be a sweet video.
The new judge, which I kind of love that Lori got a lady judge. I just...
Oh.
You know, stereotypes, just like if I was sitting there...
If I was accused of...
Deserting.
Disappearing my children.
Deserting my children.
I prefer to say disappearing them.
Well, she disappeared them good.
Okay.
Fuck me.
Will you quit turning off the backup battery? You keep hitting it with your toe.
I do.
Maybe we should trade seats.
I'll just keep my feet down here.
Did I ever tell you the time I kicked the computer and shut it off? Anyway.
Yeah. I had to make my power button not function because Tylee likes to step on it and turn my computer off.
Oh, yeah.
So now the power button is actually a useless appendage.
I like it.
Yep.
So, where were we going with this?
Once again asked for a reduction in bail. Judge Michelle Mallard denied the request, keeping it at $1 million.
I feel like Michelle Mallard is a lady duck judge in a cartoon.
And I feel like she ain't going to have no room for Lori's shenanigans.
Nope.
I feel like Michelle Mallard is probably smarter than Lori.
Most people are smarter than Lori.
True. May 8th, Autopsy results for Alex. He died of natural causes from blood clots in his lungs.
But he wasn't that old.
Which I maintain was probably from poisoning or some other type of foul play.
I agree.
So now...
He was back in Arizona, though.
Which, I mean, if he offed himself because it was all a part of a plan, getting ahead of the theories here.
Okay, so do you think he, like, agreed to be a martyr?
Well, if he believed what they believe and the world's ending, then why not leave a little early?
Well, yeah, that's true. If the world's gonna end in July in the 144,000, it'll be fine.
Take care of all her dirty business. She thinks she's leading the people, so clearly she'd be able to make sure Alex gets to whatever they believe, and he does all the dirty work. So now, if my theory pans out, neither Chad or Lori are technically murderers, which makes it harder on a conviction for murder.
No, I don't know. There's a case in Idaho where a guy
I know.
helped his brother dispose of a body, and he's still in prison on murder charges.
I bet Lori doesn't know about that.
Probably not.
So, I mean, my theory is Alex was the hitman. Lori may have done
he
some
at least
poisoning,
cleaned up the mess.
Yeah, like, he's like that guy the mob hires to clean up the messes and, like, cover the tracks.
Well, and, like, Tylee wasn't a small kid, so I don't think Lori was going to be able to... I mean, I could see Lori maybe single-handedly getting rid of a 7-year-old's body, but I mean, Tylee was considerably larger than Lori. Like, you can't...
Yeah.
And, like, dead weight, like, people don't realize, like, when... A dead person is much harder to lift than a living person, because a living person can, like, you know, kind of tense their muscles and lean into you, and...
Dead people are...
Or sometimes they're... for a while, or be really stiff, which is not helpful.
Awkward.
I'm glad we can have these discussions. People are going to think we're warped.
We are.
Well, that's true.
Between May 8th and now, not too much has happened because Lori's been in custody and Chad's been silent, like... Haven't heard crap out of him because he's probably been like, another day without them knocking on my door.
I'm surprised because these people aren't very smart. I'm surprised he didn't try to sell the property or something insane.
Oh, shit. I'm surprised he stayed in Idaho.
I feel like he probably had some sort of legal advice saying, dude, don't go anywhere. It only makes you look worse.
Fuck, hopefully. But... So
I also want to know if he was staying in the house looking out at the graves of her children.
Probably. Making sure there were no tracks in the snow. So... What was I going to say? So profound. While in jail, you know, for how long now? Ha ha ha. Awesome amount of time.
Well, since February, right?
Yeah. Lori's had, like, motions to reduce bail, and the Rona's kind of killed having hearings in a normal manner, so that got pushed out.
But with her being in custody, if her attorneys and she didn't agree to continuing these hearings, they still would have had to have them in some fashion.
But I feel like they all know there's underlying things that are going to complicate it. And aren't they trying to squeak Chad's hearing in before hers? Because hers is, like, on July 9th, and I think they were trying to set his on the 2nd.
Okay, so watching the hearing today, was hers on the 9th, or did he say someone else's prelim was on the 9th?
Hers is.
Hers is.
Because that's when it got rescheduled, too.
Okay, and they are sneaking his in for... Well...
Yeah.
Okay, so they may be trying to do that, but also these kind of hearings get continued at least once.
Yeah.
Our county's different in that we automatically set prelims 14 days out if someone's in custody. And then at that point, they can ask for a continuance and waive their right to a speedy preliminary. But even then, most of the judges will only continue it another 14 days.
Yeah.
So then they'll get to that hearing and continue it again. I mean, I feel like the way... Because these counties probably don't have as many prelims as Kootenai County.
Yeah, probably not.
So they probably just set them as they come in and don't have a set schedule of when we do prelims.
Yeah. She's had a lot of action in hers, really. I mean, not meaningful action, but...
Just filing all the things.
Yep, July 9th and 10th is her prelim.
Okay. Well, and then, my other thought is...
Ooh, they filed something else in hers today. So they filed a motion for release to defense counsel regarding a search warrant that was served prior.
Shocking.
Weird that it happened today.
Mm-hmm.
And then also...
Probably having to do with the search warrant that was served yesterday.
Also, they filed an order governing courtroom conduct for preliminary hearing. I want to go.
I know, me too.
We need to find out if anybody in our county
I can't go to
knows-
hers, though, because I found out my coworker has the whole week after the 4th of July off. Any hoozles.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Any hoozles. So yesterday. Are we ready for yesterday?
Yesterday,
June 9th, 2020.
the interwebs was all hubbub.
Somebody sent me an article on my phone and then messaged me on the work messenger to look at my phone.
Because it was important.
I picked up my
Careful with the
phone.
cactus cup.
I turned it on. I opened the thing and I went, and I read it. Why? Because Chatty Daddy was bad.
He had human remains hidden on his property.
They served a warrant now that the ground is thawed and you can dig in the holes.
Yeah. So I've seen lots of people like, why aren't they just now finding these? Why didn't they do a search warrant sooner? Well, they did do a search warrant sooner, but in southern Idaho, if something is buried in the winter, you're not going to be able to dig it up until spring.
Not unless it's like this far underground.
Right. Well, and at which point, like, it kind of looks like he lives in the country. Like, I feel like some sort of wildlife would have messed with it had it not been buried.
Deep enough.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it definitely... I know the FAA also issued a no-fly zone over his property. So
After the East Idaho News helicopter was...
So people can't drone.
Oh, yeah.
Creep and drone around.
So also, I mean, if you want to see, like, helicopter footage that really shows you nothing...
Yeah.
East Idaho News flew over in circles.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks like someone got good pictures.
It's definitely a backhoe, and there's a tent, and tarps, and buckets of dirt, because that's how you find the evidence, and...
Someone's got to sift through all that.
And there's this one, and then there's this one.
Well, that's where the fire pit is.
Yeah. Was there...
I don't know if we know what was found in the fire pit. I think we will have to wait for that sort of information.
I can't tell if from... Oh, this picture kind of maybe... Like maybe location 1 and 2?
No, there's 2.
1 and 2?
Yeah, because there's the tarps back there.
Yeah. So, I have a feeling they're probably going to spend a good amount of time digging for other evidence.
Yeah,
But-
neighbors, I saw in the news that neighbors had reported more fires than normal.
What's that all the way over there?
Ay, ay, ay.
Ay,
Well,
ay, ay, ay.
I also remember someone, I saw this on a news article that, and I should have saved all these so we could cite our sources. Google, people, Google.
Yeah.
That's what we have to do. So, apparently they did have, like, a spot on the property where they would bury their dead pets.
Right.
So, I'm not entirely sure how cadaver dogs work, but I can see there being some false alarms if there are animal remains. So they probably kind of had to dig wherever the dog
But maybe if, you think
signaled.
this is where we buried the dead pets, let's bury the dead kid there. Maybe
And
nobody will know.
It's possible.
But forensics and anthropologists and stuff are a thing, so
The
they're
one
gonna...
thing that I hated from today's hearing was that they sealed the PC affidavit.
So rude.
They have to unseal it at some point. I need the details.
I know. Can they...
I mean, I'm not sure I want the details, but I need the details.
Weren't there comments about one of the burials being egregious or something?
Egregious?
Yeah, that one. I can't say that word. Thank you.
I can only say it because I've heard it said multiple times in my day-to-day.
So, Chatty Daddy had his arraignment.
We stole that name from a delightful woman on the internet.
It's too good not to use. I'm sorry.
It really is. It's, I think it's Incomplete Investigations. I can't remember the name of her YouTube channel.
But she calls him Chatty Daddy.
She
and
does
so
call him
now
Chatty Daddy, and
I'm
it
calling
made me
him
chuckle.
Chatty Daddy. I'm just gonna keep looking at these pictures, trying to see.
Yeah.
Because they have a little tent there, but I can't tell if that's... Because there's one there, too.
Is that like a big burn pile out there?
Frick. Whoever had the helicopter, go back and...
That was East Idaho News, and I tried to watch the video of it, and it, like, made me sick, so
Okay.
I had to stop. It was real shaky.
I'm just so mad. But...
I'm really, like, disgusted. Like, here's the
Yeah.
thing. Like, I laugh so I don't cry.
Right.
But I'm disgusted that someone would do this to her children.
Yeah.
And what kind of... Like, some of these religious beliefs really are not that far off from the mainstream Mormon church. Like, I can see how you get there from that. Having grown up Mormon, like, I see how you get to... And, like, I do feel like in my lifetime, like, the Mormon church has become a lot more shallow and a lot more, like, trying to just look like a regular mainstream, like, Christian church. But, like, the Mormon church used to have some really bizarre beliefs that a lot of people were raised with and probably still believe because that's how they were raised. Like, so, like, I don't see how much of what this guy said... Ew, he just looks evil.
Yeah.
I just don't see how much of what this guy believed in is that far off. Like, I know there was a big push, like, because I know people, like, here where we live that were, like, excommunicated from the mainstream Mormon church because they started, like, having home study groups. Like, so that's one way the Mormon church is different from a lot of mainstream Christian churches. Like, a lot of mainstream churches encourage you to have a small home group and, you know, have your weekly Bible study with, you know, these other people. And the Mormons don't do that. They should say, no, you should only have, like, sanctioned, like, church...
Is it go?
Study. Yes, it is. So, like, this kind of situation is why. And I think some of that is that Mormons don't... Like, there's so many contradictory things in their doctrines that if you were to start studying it, you would realize that it's all made up. Or if you don't realize it's all made up, you feel like the church has just hid things from you.
Yeah.
So then you start looking into these older, you know, some of the stuff like the older prophets of the church said, and, you know, which the church will say, oh, well, he was just talking as a man. But then at the same time, the church will say that, you know, the prophet will never lead us astray. Yet the church wouldn't allow black men to have the priesthood until 1978. Because the prophets were sure they were cursed and couldn't have it.
Cursed with the darkness or the...
Yeah. Yeah, because Cain killed Abel, all that nonsense.
Yeah. So while you were discussing, I had to find the wording because this is what was bothering me, like, the whole time. His charge in the statute, destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. Every person who knowing that any human remains, or anything, used or discovered as...
You should read all the things.
Okay, fine.
Do you want me to read the code?
Okay.
Idaho Code 18-2603. Destruction, alteration, or concealment of evidence. Every person who, knowing that any book, paper, record, instrument in writing, or other object, matter, or thing...
Human remains.
...is about to be produced, used, or discovered as evidence upon any trial, proceeding, inquiry, or investigation whatever, authorized by law, willfully destroys, alters, or conceals the same with intent thereby to prevent it from being produced, used, or discovered is guilty of
a misdemeanor unless
the trial, proceeding, inquiry, or investigation is criminal in nature
murder
and involves a felony, felony offense, in which case said person is guilty of a felony and subject to a maximum fine of $10,000 and a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison.
So he's got 2 of these because there are 2 missing children and 2 sets of human remains.
Well, and where's the shovel? I mean, potentially he could have, like,
Yeah.
8 of these,
Well,
if you think about it.
So they had a fire
The
pit.
state's only charged 2.
They had a fire pit in the yard. So you could assume that maybe a shovel is partially wood. And who the frick knows?
Or a shirt, or...
Did he burn his clothes? Did he burn... That's why they have the tarps and the buckets and the screens and the baggies and the sifting and the science.
Is this what archaeologists do now?
This is what forensic anthropologists do.
Oh.
And forensic technicians.
Oh.
Archaeology would just be for old shit.
True.
Yeah. But
so couldn't someone trained as an archaeologist start doing this because there's more of a market?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I just like the part that they about knowing evidence is about to be produced, discovered, used, blah blah blah. So like, was it about to be discovered like actually, or is that just like, oh, are they going to find him eventually? Like, the wording just is intriguing to me.
I think it could be whenever.
Do we think that Lori and Mark Means, the delightful attorney of hers, who has a properly fitting jacket, from what I can tell, had a call of the non-recorded confidential variety where he was like, look, biatch, I can get you a deal. And maybe she rolled over on Chatty Daddy or something. Because, like, why did they suddenly serve this warrant and go dig? Like,
I don't know, like, it seems...
The timing all seems kind of...
The timing seems suspicious because she's been sitting in jail for a while and has had some time to think about it. And I really can't speculate what kind of confidential conversation has had with her attorney. But I can see her being a little bitter that she's in custody and he's not.
Especially
because we know she's a petty bitch.
And especially as the days go by.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about him out there. Making sure nobody sees the holes in the ground. Indentations. Jealous of him possibly talking to other women.
Well, I mean, he was talking to her when he was still married, so...
And because of the Rona, they're not allowing visitations to jail right now, so she couldn't even have visitors.
They're probably... Do you think they're not set up for the video shit down there? Stuff down there?
I don't know.
I mean, I've already messed up this live stream by saying the F word, so...
Yeah.
I guess saying shit.
But we're trying not to swear, and that's what matters.
I'm trying real hard. YouTube, I'm trying. Please
hard.
don't delete my video.
I'll have a copy on the computer. If YouTube wants to delete it, it will live forever.
Okay, cool.
But I'm excited to see if days coming up here, Lori's charges.
Oh, I'm pretty sure her charges are going to evolve and expand.
Well, I mean, does felony desertion of children include when they're dead-zo?
I don't think so. I think, I was gonna say, we can't pause our live stream, can we?
No, because we're livesies.
Okay, well, you tell the people about something while I use the restroom.
Okay, so I'm going to find what Lori's code is for her felonies.
Okay.
For 2 codes of child desertion, because there are 2 children.
Oh, and here's the other thing. She's probably in, like, Social Security fraud charges because she's been collecting their Social Security benefits this whole time.
Gosh, it just gets deeper and deeper for that bitch. So, Lori, dearest. Section 18, Chapter 4, Abandonment or Non-Support of Wife or Children. Having any child under the age of 18 years dependent upon him or her for care, education, or support deserts such child in any manner whatever with the intent to abandon it. She did that. She did not produce them. Willfully omitting without lawful excuse to furnish necessary food, clothing, shelter, or medical attendance for his or her child or children. Ward or wards provided, however, that the practice of a parent or guardian who chooses for his child treatment or by prayer or spiritual means alone shall not, for that reason alone, be construed to be a violation. So basically, the last part of it's about a spouse, but so basically, I mean, where are the kids? They weren't being cared for. She couldn't produce them. She deserted them. A fine of not more than $500 or by imprisonment not to exceed 14 years or both. Okay, so that's a lot more jail. She's getting charged with stricter shit, though. I guarantee that. It's just... It ain't gonna work for her. It ain't gonna work. She sucks. So, murder, mayhem. So, you know, if they both got found guilty of their 2 felonies each respectively, she would do way more time than him.
Yeah, that's funny.
Because that one, it's up to a fine of $500 and 14
But the
years.
jail time, the prison time is a lot more.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Which, I mean, I think, well, because we're assuming that charge he has, he could have destroyed a book
Well, right.
and do 5 years.
Right.
The fact that it's human remains is a little more
Right.
drastic. I just... They're gonna keep digging and finding more
Well,
stuff. And
right. No, I feel like at minimum his charges are gonna be upgraded to like aiding and abetting in a murder.
I feel like
I'm pretty sure in Idaho is just like murder.
I feel like she needs some criminal conspiracy thrown in there because I think she thinks she's an evil mastermind and she's not.
No. Well, and I think things will continue as more evidence comes out. The charges are going to increase.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were smart, they would. Well, the prosecutor's probably not offering them a plea deal at this point.
Unless one of them rolls on the other one and divulges information they're
That's
missing.
true.
Which I think, even though I know they have to be in separate county jails because their residences and stuff were in separate whatever, but I like that they're separated to where, like, they're not even in the same facility to where somebody could, like, mumble, oh, he was back being interviewed again.
Okay, and did you hear the judge's condition? One of the conditions for Chad was that he couldn't communicate with any potential witness, which means he basically can't communicate with his whole family because they're potential witnesses.
He also can't communicate with the victims' families, which is, like, his wife.
Right, right. Which,
And
I mean, they wouldn't be letting those two communicate.
no.
Well, they might, because you might get some interesting communications.
It's just, like, I'm really pissed off. I'm really pissed that this is the outcome. Even though we all knew it with near 100% assurance, especially now that it's been...
What I say, I was at, like, 98.7%
Yeah, I was
sure
at, like,
the children were dead.
I was at 99.4. But, you know, you hold on to that glimmer of hope.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted the kids to somehow be hiding out somewhere. Alive.
I wanted Tylee to get musing that Lori was going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and was gonna kill him, and she took JJ and was, like, fucking hiding somewhere.
Right. That's what we wanted.
Like, that's what we wanted, but that's not what we're getting, so now we can only hope that Lori and Chad Daybell fry.
Well, and here's the thing.
I would like, literally, I like the death penalty for douchebags, but... And they don't fry them anymore, but whatever.
Idaho hung people, like, into the 70s. Did you know that? Yeah. Have you ever been to the old prison in Boise?
I want to go.
You need to go. There's a room that the floor drops up from under. I went in there, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's creepy. I'm out. It was really eerie feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still, like, an active Mormon at the time, and I think I was like, oh, lots of evil people have been in here. This is really dark. But I think even not having those same feelings about, you know, the Holy Ghost and evil people and stuff, I still don't think that's a room I'd want to be in.
I'm morbid. I'd probably crack really bad jokes.
Yeah.
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 I know I read about
I saw.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I want to go. I do.
I'd go back. I don't know that I'd go. I don't know. I might go in there again for science.
Probably just to see how your mindset has changed. I mean, normal people are going to have eerie, ooky feelings in there regardless. I just don't have feelings, so... We told the new girl that if she comes across anything she doesn't want to see, to just come find me and I'll deal with it.
Fair.
That's what it is.
Fair.
Anyways, I mean, I think that's all the details.
I think that's it. I'm interested to see how this continues to progress. Because, like... So, I was watching Making a Murderer. And Sean was like, this is so boring. How are you watching? Because it gets a lot into the trial and the court stuff. I'm like, no, babe, this is, like, interesting stuff. And he's like, it's so boring. I'm like, no, it's not. So I enjoy the weird procedural parts of the court process.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's cool that we have a system where we can just go online and look up their names and see, like, public entries for anything they file. Like, I just...
Because if you look at enough, like, criminal cases, like what you can see online, you'll start to understand what the documents are and why they're being filed.
Right, and hell, if I remember in the description, I'll put the website you can go to see their Idaho cases.
Yes. You can't see actual documents. You can just see the entries of what the documents are.
Yeah, so if they file an order or a motion or something that's visible to the public, you could see that entry that it happened. So you can kind of follow along.
And you can, like, Idaho has pretty open public record laws. So you can, like, literally, if you want to see a lot of these documents, you can, like, call the courthouse and request a copy. They probably will charge you $1 a page, but it might be worth it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a cool thing. A lot of shit's public that you might not think. Can't speak for other states because we only know about our own. Yep. So I was talking to various coworkers about this today because I kind of couldn't shut up about it because I kept seeing bits and pieces.
Yeah, I kept telling everyone about it too.
I had to say it out loud because I was just fucking pissed.
Me and the guy whose office is next to mine.
I swore.
I told him all about it.
I swore just now. I don't care.
I don't care either.
We're
gonna fly under the YouTube radar.
I'm so mad. And I just really hope they get the justice they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I hope that whatever did happen to JJ and Tylee wasn't slow or painful or anything. Like, I hope maybe they were poisoned and died in their sleep.
Yeah.
Like,
I've always maintained that if I was going to kill myself, this is morbid, people probably don't want to hear this. If I was going to kill myself, I would park my car in the garage and start the engine and go to pass out time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably take some drugs or drink first so I could sleep real good.
Yeah.
But that's how I do it.
I hope they didn't, like, what was his name, Patrick Freezy in Colorado the year before last.
Oh, yeah, well, the nurse, there was, like, he was cheating on his wife, and the nurse was from, like, Idaho.
Yeah, and he blindfolded her and was like, let's play a game where I'm gonna give you a candle to smell and you guess the scent. His mistress was there, and he beat her with a fucking bat. And then he buried her in his yard. Oh, and that was, like, that guy lived, like, 20, 30 minutes from my parents' house. Just side note. Yeah. I'm like, hey, Mom, go see if you can see anything.
I hope it wasn't something like that. I really do think, just from the way the timeline is, I definitely think they killed Tylee in Yellowstone or shortly after they got home.
Right. Because who was there? Brother who's nutso.
Mm-hmm.
And does the dirty work and could lift a dead body.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, JJ was there, right?
Yeah.
But
I feel like maybe, depending on how they did it, Sissy's asleep or something. Like,
right. Right. Like, and who knows, because nobody really talked to JJ or anything after that much anyway.
Yeah, no one, I don't think, really had communication with him.
And Yellowstone gets pretty out there. No one can hear you scream. You don't have cell service.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that they were at least decent enough to not make them suffer.
I hope.
Because
I also just hate people that think that it's up to them.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you're an adult and you have a chronic illness and you know you're never going to get better, I do think you should be able to make that choice for yourself. But I don't think that parents who want to have a bizarre religious affair. It just doesn't, it doesn't compute for me. Like,
no.
Family's very important to the LDS community,
right.
So it doesn't, the whole, she's an empty nester, clearly there was, the kids were dead at that point, actually,
right.
So...
She was an empty nester.
She was an empty nester, so that wasn't a lie, but, I don't see why that all was necessary.
Yeah.
Just based on... But I guess if they really believed that they were possessed or were zombies, then...
Yeah, it's just... It gets so weird that telling people, oh, this happened, or did you hear about this part? You feel like you're talking about a really freaking weird sci-fi crime drama.
Yeah.
How is this real?
And happening in our state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know, I can't with these people, and this is why, I've said this before, This is why religious fundamentalism is dangerous.
Mhm.
Like, this is why taking, like, and here's the thing. I believe the Mormon church was made up when Joseph Smith had the good shrooms.
Yeah.
Because trust me, since Joseph Smith died, nothing that good has happened. I mean, the things he was doing weren't good either, but, like, we have not had mass hallucinations at temple dedications of everyone seeing angels. Like, that only happens when someone puts hallucinogenics in the wine.
The water?
No, they still drink wine back then.
Oh!
See, like, aside from marrying 14-year-olds, like, Joseph Smith's church was pretty cool.
Yeah, that 14-year-old thing's
Yeah.
kinda...
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'm not okay with it.
No.
And it was not normal back then. There are statistics. You can look at the old marriage certificates. Yes, 14-year-old marriages happened more back then than they do now, but it was not the norm.
It wasn't like, oh,
This
honey...
was not the 1600s where we were only living to 30.
Right. Like, oh, you're turning 14 next week, we better go find you a man. Like, no.
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 It's not how it worked.
Anyways.
But we digress.
So we will stay up to date, and we will do this again.
And I'll try not to rant about how dangerous religious fundamentalism is.
But it is.
But it is. But I mean, like, that's why there's Islamic terrorists. That's why, like...
Any extremist group that stems, like, wholesome normal, a lot of people who are Muslim don't think Americans are the great devil or whatever and want to kill them all. Like...
Right.
Just like there's Christians who don't think getting piercings means you're going to hell. Just like there's Mormons who don't have 6 wives.
Right.
But it's those crazy groups that get culty.
Well,
that...
and it's like a small... Sorry, I had to fix my hair,
It's all
people.
good.
There's, like, a small percentage of, like... Because that's the thing. Like, when I was active Mormon, it's like, oh, yeah, we don't do polygamy. We don't do that. Like... But it's like, if you look back, like, you used to, and that's what your church really believed in back in the day, and it's convenient when you believe in continuing revelation, and God can change his mind whenever he wants. Like, that's convenient, so you can fit whatever social norm you need to fit at the time, but, like, Joseph Smith was not about fitting social norms.
Yeah.
I promise.
Yeah.
He was about doing hallucinogenics and looking for treasure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, I mean, quite frankly, sounds like a good time, but...
That sounds better than the other thing.
But when you want to make money at it, you turn it into a religion.
And he did.
He did.
He did a great job.
And here we are.
And here we are. So...
Should we wrap this thing up?
Yep.
We've been at it for almost 2 hours.
Yep. There was that much information, and we were both very fired up and needed to talk about it.
We did need to talk about it, so whether anyone else watches this or not, we had a good time.
Yes.
I feel like I could say more.
Yeah.
I still want to know who turned on who.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't think that Chad, like, he didn't, like, turn himself in. Like, clearly he waited for the search warrant.
Right.
I do think that Lori maybe was like, well, if I've got to be in custody, you need to be in custody too, because you were just involved as I was, and, you know, your wife's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And...
yeah. Or maybe, you know, maybe Tammy's autopsy has had results revealed that he knows about, and maybe he knows he's screwed anyway. Like,
well,
who knows?
and
like,
just because it says the results haven't been released, law enforcement might have those results and be like, okay, we're going to put pressure on him by serving this search warrant.
Right. I just hope nobody gets one of those sweet deals and gets off without the punishment fitting the crime. I
think at this point it's gotten so much national press that, like, that can't happen.
Right.
Because, like, a lot of the cases where people make, like, these awesome deals, for one, like, the victim's family or the victim is usually on board. Like, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to prison for a long time anyway. Like,
and I'm pretty sure the grandparents are not going to stand for that.
No, I think the grandparents are going to want both of them tried to the fullest extent.
Yep.
And it is, in fact, illegal to make a deal without consulting the victim or the victim's family.
So that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
But maybe there's some mentality of, like...
Well, and then, like, the people I feel bad for in this, like, I really feel bad for JJ's grandparents. Because they've got to have a tremendous amount of guilt because they were caring for JJ and he was beyond what they felt like they could handle.
Yeah.
So when Charles and Lori, who, I don't know if Charles was younger than his sister, but Lori was younger than them, and she was willing to take that on, they probably felt a sense of relief.
Yeah.
And at that point, I think she was fairly normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine living with that. I mean, I'm not blaming them by any means. I don't want people to take it that way. I'm just saying if I was in that position, I would feel like the worst human on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But hindsight's 20/20, and I truly believe they did what they thought was best at the time. Like, I don't think that they were shirking a responsibility. I think they had family that they felt like could give JJ a good life and the attention he needed. And, I mean, clearly they were concerned about him because they were the ones who sounded the alarm and were like, we haven't heard from him. And
it's all unfortunate that...
Well, and, like, family law gets so messy.
Yeah.
Like, so messy. Like, people will do things in a divorce that they would never do in any other circumstance.
Right.
I mean, mind you, it kind of stemmed out of family law because I think Lori had a suspicion that the Woodcocks would try to take custody of JJ because Charles was dead. Mm-hmm. Like, I do think that was a legitimate fear of hers.
Yeah.
But at some point, like, if you're, like, it was a legal adoption. Like, it's really hard to get an adoption undone. Like, really freaking difficult.
Yeah.
Like, people consented to terminating their parental rights so that, you know, like, and we can't leave children orphans in this country.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it would take a whole heck of a lot. Like, really, like, even if there was some sort of, like, had there been a child, like, welfare case and JJ was removed from Lori, like, I know the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare, their goal is to reunify families. Well, an adopted family is just like a regular biological family. Like, that is their duty to try to keep this family together. Like, it would not be easy for Grandma without... If Lori had consented to a guardianship with Grandma and Grandpa, they probably could have been like, okay, yeah, you consented. Like,
yeah.
If there was, like, a child protection type case. But
yeah,
people, like, do, like, messed up crap when they're
emotional.
Yes.
Crazy. Both.
Well, and then, like, I don't know. I just come back to the alarming religious beliefs that, like, I still am not, like, I feel like Chad and Lori had similar beliefs and then they just fed off each other.
Yeah.
Like, I can't say one of them was the victim of the other.
Right.
Because I think they were just, like, a toxic mix that
should have never been able to talk to each other.
Turned into, like, a tornado and sucked everything in and around them.
Yep.
I guess we should stop now because I feel like I'm rambling.
Okay, let's shut up and leave.
Okay, we're outie.
Okay, bye.
Follow us on the things.
Yeah, things and stuff.
Stuff and things.
Stuff.